Did Prince Harry receive a warm welcome from his family, or was he met with indifference and silence? His return to the UK has reignited one of the most talked about royal sagas of recent years: his strained relationship with King Charles and the rest of the monarchy. With rumors of tension, conflicting media narratives, and the ever-watchful eyes of the public, this visit raises a pressing question. Was Harry genuinely snubbed by his father, or is there more to the story? Since stepping away from royal duties in 2020, Harry has often found himself at the center of controversy, from his explosive Oprah interview to his revealing memoir Spare. His revelations about life behind palace walls have created a rift between him and the royal family, making every encounter with them a subject of global speculation. The stakes were even higher this time, as King Charles' recent health concerns added an emotional layer to Harry's visit. One might expect such circumstances to foster reconciliation, yet reports suggest a different reality. One that hints at cold shoulders, missed meetings, and a clear lack of warmth from the palace. This video will take a deep dive into every angle of this dramatic return, uncovering the significance of Harry's visit, the alleged snub by King Charles, and the wider implications for the future of the monarchy. Was it truly a deliberate rejection, or are royal obligations and politics at play? By the end, you'll have all the insights needed to make your own judgment on whether this was a missed opportunity for reconciliation or a calculated distancing from the former prince. Stay tuned as we unravel the truth behind this royal drama. Prince Harry's return to the UK cannot be understood without examining the complex and fractured history between him and the royal family. Over the last few years, his relationship with the monarchy has been marred by controversy, with public statements and deeply personal revelations creating a seemingly insurmountable divide. When Harry and Meghan stepped down as senior royals in 2020, it was framed as a move toward independence. However, their subsequent actions, including high-profile interviews, the Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan, and the tell-all memoir Spare, painted a picture of deep-seated grievances, accusations of neglect, and even claims of institutional bias within the royal establishment. The turning point in this strained relationship came with Harry's decision to air private family matters in public. He openly criticized the monarchy's handling of his and Meghan's challenges, particularly regarding media intrusion and alleged lack of support. In Spare, he detailed conflicts with his brother Prince William, accused Camilla of strategic media manipulation, and portrayed his father, King Charles, as emotionally distant. Such revelations not only fueled public discourse, but also deepened the wedge between him and his family, making reconciliation seem more unlikely with each passing revelation. Fast forward to the present, King Charles' health issues have created an opportunity for potential healing. However, the long-standing grievances and the palace's strict adherence to royal protocol make such a reconciliation complex. Many royal watchers believe that Harry's presence in the UK was a test, one that would reveal whether time had softened the family's stance toward him or whether the monarchy had moved on without him. Understanding this backdrop is essential to assessing whether King Charles' response to Harry's visit was a snub or simply the inevitable consequence of a fractured relationship. The timing of Prince Harry's return to the UK was anything but random. His visit came amid significant developments within the royal family, particularly the health concerns surrounding King Charles. The monarch's cancer diagnosis, announced earlier this year, cast a shadow over the institution and raised concerns about the future of the British monarchy. Given the gravity of the situation, many expected Harry to seize this moment as an opportunity to reconnect with his father. After all, family crises often serve as a catalyst for reconciliation, but in this case, did it? Aside from personal motivations, there are strategic implications behind the timing of this visit. Harry and Meghan's brand relies heavily on their connection to the royal narrative, and maintaining relevance in that world is crucial. The Sussexes have faced criticism over dwindling public interest, with their commercial ventures, including Spotify and Netflix deals, seemingly struggling to sustain the initial momentum. Was this visit an attempt to realign himself with the royal family, at least in the public eye? If so, was the palace receptive to it, or did they see it as an opportunistic move? Another key factor is the political landscape within the monarchy. Prince William, next in line to the throne, has taken on greater responsibilities, and his stance on Harry remains firm. There are no signs of a public reconciliation. With William's increasing influence, Harry's position within the family is even more precarious. If the visit was an olive branch, it may have come at a time when the palace was no longer willing to entertain such gestures. Thus, the question lingers. Was this visit truly about mending family ties, or was it more about positioning and optics? Whatever the case, the response from the palace, or lack thereof, sent a strong message. Prince Harry's visit to the UK was shrouded in secrecy, with no clear indication of whether he would meet King Charles or other senior royals. While official sources remained tight-lipped, media reports suggested that the visit was brief and largely uneventful from a royal perspective. The contrast between expectations and reality became apparent as details of his itinerary, or lack thereof, unfolded. Upon arriving in London, Harry's schedule was noticeably devoid of any confirmed royal engagements. Unlike previous visits where he attended official functions or charity events, this time, his presence seemed almost invisible to the royal calendar. The absence of a formal meeting with King Charles raised eyebrows, with many questioning whether the monarch was too occupied or simply unwilling to accommodate his son. While it was initially reported that Harry had requested a meeting, insiders later suggested that Charles' schedule was already packed, making a reunion impractical. Beyond the family dynamics, the public and media reaction to Harry's visit was also significant. Despite his high-profile status, there was a noticeable shift in how his presence was perceived. Once regarded as a beloved royal, his popularity in the UK has waned, with some viewing his return as unnecessary drama. Meanwhile, royal aides remained firm on the monarchy's position, focusing on stability and duty rather than personal reconciliations. The contrast between Harry's arrival and his departure was striking. He came with the potential for emotional reconnection, yet left with no publicized interactions with his immediate family. Whether this was a deliberate snub or just an unfortunate scheduling conflict remains open to interpretation. But one thing is clear: this visit was far from the homecoming many had hoped for. Prince Harry's return to the UK was expected to be a moment of family reconciliation, especially given King Charles' health concerns. However, reports quickly surfaced that Harry did not meet with his father for more than a brief moment, if at all. This fueled speculation that he was deliberately snubbed. The palace remains silent on the matter, offering no confirmation or denial, leaving room for multiple interpretations. Was this a deliberate act of distancing by King Charles, or was there a legitimate reason for their lack of meaningful interaction? Supporters of the snub theory point to the royal family's history of strategic distancing. The monarchy operates on careful image management, and embracing Harry too warmly could be seen as undermining their firm stance on his departure from royal duties. Sources suggest that King Charles had prior engagements and a tightly packed schedule, making it impossible to set aside time for a proper meeting. But many argue that if the king truly wanted to see his son, an opportunity would have been found. After all, family comes first in times of crisis, unless, of course, the rift is beyond repair. On the other hand, some believe the idea of a snub has been exaggerated by the media. Charles' health means he must carefully manage his energy and responsibilities. If a meeting didn't happen, it could simply be a matter of logistics rather than intentional rejection. Additionally, with Prince William maintaining his distance from Harry, Charles may have been navigating a delicate balancing act to avoid upsetting the future king. Ultimately, whether Harry was truly snubbed remains open to interpretation. What's undeniable, however, is that his visit did little to mend the fractured relationship between him and the monarchy. The relationship between Prince Harry and Prince William has been strained for years, with tensions escalating after Harry's departure from royal duties. His tell-all memoir, Spare, painted a particularly damaging picture of their bond, revealing physical altercations, deep-seated rivalries, and fundamental differences in their outlooks on royal life. Given this history, many were curious to see if Harry's visit would offer an opportunity for the brothers to reconcile, or if their rift had grown even wider. Prince William was notably absent during Harry's time in the UK, leading to speculation that the heir to the throne had no interest in mending fences. While official sources remain silent, reports suggest that William made no effort to arrange a meeting with Harry. This was particularly striking considering their father's health crisis, a moment that could have united them. Instead, the brothers seemed to remain firmly on separate paths, reinforcing the idea that their relationship is beyond repair. Some experts believe that William's reluctance to engage with Harry stems from a deep sense of betrayal. Unlike their father, who may still hold hopes for reconciliation, William appears to have drawn a firm line, viewing Harry's actions as a personal and institutional betrayal. His role as the future king means he must uphold the monarchy's dignity, and aligning too closely with Harry could be seen as a sign of weakness. Whether their relationship can ever be restored remains uncertain. While time may heal some wounds, the absence of even a brief meeting during Harry's visit suggests that the damage runs deep. Unless there is a major shift in circumstances, the once inseparable brothers may remain estranged for years to come. Meghan Markle's absence during Prince Harry's UK visit was another point of speculation. While it is not unusual for her to remain in the US during his solo trips, many saw her decision to stay behind as significant. Given the ongoing tension between her and the royal family, her presence could have added another layer of complexity to an already delicate situation. But was her absence a strategic move, a sign of disinterest, or an indication that she is entirely done with the royal drama? One theory is that Meghan deliberately avoided the trip to prevent further conflict. Her relationship with the monarchy has been contentious, with accusations of mistreatment and racism making it nearly impossible for her to reintegrate into the royal fold. If she had accompanied Harry, it might have created more tension and overshadowed the real purpose of the visit, his father's health. In this light, staying away may have been a decision made in the interest of keeping the focus on family rather than past grievances. However, others argue that Meghan's absence signaled a deeper detachment from royal matters. Since stepping back from royal life, she has focused on carving out a new identity, separate from the institution that she claims never fully accepted her. Some believe that she has little desire to reconcile with the royals, and may even discourage Harry from seeking reunion. Regardless of the reason, Meghan's decision not to accompany Harry sent a message. Whether intentional or not, it reinforced the idea that she and the royal family exist in entirely separate worlds, ones that may never merge again. Prince Harry's return to the UK was met with mixed reactions from the British public. Once one of the most beloved members of the royal family, his standing in the country has changed dramatically since his departure. His criticism of the monarchy, his relocation to the US, and his association with high-profile media projects have alienated many royal supporters. The question is, did his return shift public perception, or did it further entrench existing opinions? Among royal loyalists, Harry's visit was viewed with skepticism. Many saw it as a publicity stunt rather than a genuine attempt at reconciliation. The fact that he reportedly did not spend significant time with his father or brother only fueled the idea that he was there more for optics than for personal reasons. Some critics argued that if he truly wanted to mend relationships, he would have approached a visit differently, perhaps with less media attention and more private outreach. However, others saw Harry's return as a testament to his commitment to family, despite all that has transpired. Supporters praised him for making the effort, especially given King Charles' health struggles. They argued that he has been placed in an impossible position, damned if he visits and damned if he stays away. The media played a crucial role in shaping these narratives. Some outlets portrayed him as a prodigal son attempting to reconnect, while others painted him as an outsider who no longer belongs in royal circles. Regardless of where public opinion falls, one thing is clear. Harry's relationship with the UK has changed, and his presence is no longer met with the adoration it once commanded. King Charles has long been known for his duty-driven approach to monarchy, prioritizing the institution above personal matters. While his health crisis could have been a moment of reconciliation, the reality suggests that Harry was not high on the king's list of priorities. This raises an important question. Was Charles too busy, or was the lack of a meeting an intentional decision to maintain distance? One possible explanation is that the king's schedule was genuinely packed. As a working monarch, Charles has state obligations, diplomatic responsibilities, and now, medical treatments to manage. With the UK facing political and economic uncertainties, his role in stabilizing the monarchy is more crucial than ever. If Harry's visit was unplanned or came with little notice, it's possible that fitting in a proper meeting was simply impractical. However, another perspective suggests that Charles made a calculated decision to limit his interaction with Harry. The monarchy operates on careful image management, and a warm reunion could have sent mixed signals. After all, Harry has publicly criticized the family, accused them of mistreatment, and exposed private details in spare. By keeping their meeting brief or avoiding it altogether, Charles may have been protecting the monarchy's reputation, ensuring that he is seen as focused on his duties rather than personal drama. There is also the influence of Prince William to consider. If the heir to the throne remains firm in his stance against reconciliation, Charles may have found himself in a difficult position. Siding too openly with Harry could have created tension within the family and weakened William's position as the future king. Ultimately, whether due to genuine scheduling conflicts or a strategic decision, the lack of engagement between Harry and Charles reinforces the notion that the divide between father and son is far from healing. Buckingham Palace has always maintained a strict, never complain, never explain policy, choosing silence over public responses to family drama. This approach has been evident throughout Harry's fallout with the monarchy, and his recent visit was no exception. While media speculation ran rampant about whether he was snubbed, the palace offered no official statement, neither confirming nor denying the rumors. Was this silence a sign of indifference, or was it a calculated move to control the narrative? Royal experts believe that the palace's decision to remain silent serves a strategic purpose. By refusing to engage with speculation, they avoid fueling further controversy. A direct statement addressing Harry's visit, whether positive or negative, would have given the story more traction, inviting deeper scrutiny from the press. Instead, by saying nothing, the monarchy ensures that attention eventually shifts back to its core duties and public engagements. Another factor to consider is that any official acknowledgement of Harry's visit could have set a precedent. If the palace commented on his presence this time, they might be expected to do so for future visits as well. This would put the monarchy in a difficult position, as it would require constant management of public expectations regarding Harry's relationship with the family. There's also the question of control. The royal family functions on carefully managed appearances, and allowing media speculation to run unchecked can sometimes work in their favor. By withholding information, they maintain an air of mystery and ensure that the public remains focused on the monarchy's broader role rather than personal disputes. Whether silence was an act of indifference or a well-thought-out strategy, one thing is clear. The palace had no interest in giving Harry's visit any more significance than necessary. The media has played an instrumental role in shaping the narrative surrounding Prince Harry and the royal family. Ever since Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties, coverage of their actions has ranged from sympathetic to outright hostile. With his latest visit to the UK, the media once again took center stage, analyzing every possible angle. Was he snubbed? Was he trying to make amends? Was his visit even necessary? Tabloids and major news outlets were quick to frame Harry's return as an unwelcome intrusion, highlighting the absence of meetings with senior royals and suggesting that his relevance within the monarchy has diminished. Some publications painted his visit as an attempt to regain public favor, while others emphasized the idea that the royal family had moved on without him. These narratives reinforced the perception that Harry is now an outsider, neither fully royal nor fully detached. However, not all media coverage was negative. Certain international outlets, particularly in the US, portrayed Harry as a devoted son, making an effort despite the cold reception. They highlighted his willingness to return in the wake of his father's health issues, framing him as someone who, despite past conflicts, still prioritizes family. This divergence in coverage reflects the ongoing divide in public opinion. Whereas many in the UK see Harry's actions as disruptive, his supporters abroad continue to view him as a victim of a rigid institution. One thing is undeniable. The media thrives on royal controversy, and Harry's visit was another chapter in the ever-evolving saga. Whether the feud is genuinely as deep as reported or merely media-fueled, the press ensures that every development remains a global talking point. For Prince Harry, his visit to the UK was more than just a trip. It was a reflection of his current standing within the royal family. The lack of a warm reception, the absence of public engagements, and the media scrutiny all contributed to a narrative that he is increasingly isolated from the monarchy. But how does he see himself in this situation? Is he a man fighting for his personal truth, or has he found himself more alone than ever? Harry has consistently positioned himself as someone who values honesty over tradition. His interviews and public statements suggest that he sees his departure from the royal family as an act of personal liberation, an effort to break free from an institution that, in his view, stifled individuality and emotional well-being. From his perspective, the choice to leave was not about rejection, but about survival. However, moments like this visit highlight the cost of that choice. With no public acknowledgement from his father, no meeting with his brother, and a lukewarm reception from the British public, it's clear that his former world has moved forward without him. If he hoped for an open-armed reunion, it didn't happen. This may reinforce feelings of alienation, despite his insistence that he is happy with his new life in California. The question remains, does Harry regret any part of his decision? While he has never publicly expressed regret, actions often speak louder than words. His return suggests a lingering connection to his roots, one that may never fully fade, no matter how far he has distanced himself from the crown. Prince Harry's dramatic return to the UK has left us with more questions than answers. Was he truly snubbed by King Charles, or was this just another carefully orchestrated royal maneuver? The tension between Harry and the monarchy remains as strong as ever, and this visit only seemed to highlight the ever-growing distance between them. But what does this mean for the future? Will Harry and the royal family ever mend their fractured relationship, or has the damage become irreversible? As we continue to follow this unfolding royal saga, one thing is certain. Every move made by the monarchy and the Sussexes will be watched, analyzed, and debated. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on the royal family and the stories shaping the world. Stay tuned, because in the world of royalty, the drama never truly ends.